what does it mean to you to be a Caribbean American or Caribbean person living in America? What does that mean to you? Let me just kick it off that way.
Okay, so what that means to me is basically it's basically me carrying the torch, basically bringing that culture to the U.S. or people that's unfamiliar with the culture itself. I mean, by different means. I mean, we contribute in so many ways. Number one, music, food. Just I think when people encounter Caribbean people. The one thing that we bring to people is a calmness. We're very welcome. You know, you go to a Caribbean household, the first thing they want to do is feed you. They want to feed you. You want something to eat. You want something to drink.
And vex when you don't eat.
Yeah. I mean, just the whole culture is just very welcoming, just loving, and just a people that are for one another. So we're all about empowering each other to grow and be uplifted and things like that. So it's very important to me to actually pass those ideas on to the kids and things like that and teach them the culture so they can carry on. And hopefully, June won't be the only month that we celebrate Caribbean heritage. I mean, it should be something that's celebrated daily, as far as I'm concerned. But,
yep. Agreed. Police or promoter, whatever you are.
So, number one, being proud and just being unique, right? So, Dwayne, you mentioned that we have our music and our food and all of that. And it's just so enjoyable to know that those that are not from our Caribbean, once they come here, they're able to embrace it and they want to know, man, why you talk like that? We love your accent. It's like We're just this beautiful bird, the little peacock. Everywhere we go, we stand out. And that, to me, is the best thing. I don't want to be like the next person. When I come around, I want people to say, man, something about her is different. And that's what being from the Caribbean means to me. It's just being unique and being so proud of where we come from.
It's like an exclusive club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it.
I mean, those are very good answers. I mean, I second what you both said. And, Caribbean people, we don't do anything small and we don't do anything quiet and shy. We do big and bold and braggadocious and bright colors, and that's just how we are. And it's one of the things I'm most proud of in this life is to be, a Caribbean boy. I mean, no matter where I go in life, no matter who I talk to, the first thing you're going to know about me is that I'm from Jamaica and I'm from the Caribbean. In fact, there's a small bar in Coruña, Spain right now, that if you go into that place right now, there will be a Jamaican $20 bill on the wall. So why is that? I was there once and I struck up a conversation with the owner, and he had a bunch of bills on the wall. And I happened to have I just come out from Jamaica, that Jamaican 20 in my wallet.
Big money.
And I said, can't even buy sweet. Anyway, so I gave it to him, and he put it on the wall, put the rest of the money. And I went back there like a couple of years later, and it was still up there on the wall. So it's something that I am extremely proud of. For all the reasons that you all said, we are different. We are unique. People want a piece of this culture, right? Yeah. That's why, and that's evident in the tourist rates. People want to go to Jamaica and Trinidad and the VI and Bahamas because it just, when you come out of this rat race here in the U.S. Go there for a little while, calm yourself, relax your nerves, and just enjoy life.
Exactly.
I can't even tell you the way that when I go to any Caribbean island, the way that my mindset just changes instantly. So I step off the plane, I'm not thinking about anything I have to do. I'm not thinking about any work. I'm not thinking about any bills. It's just relaxation.
Freedom. Relaxation.
Yeah, and you said a key thing there. Any Caribbean island, it doesn't matter which one. It's the same thing. Same thing. When I go any island, it's the same thing. Leave all your cares behind. You just want to relax. The air is different. You get off the plane, it's like, oh my God.
Yes. I could breathe.
So I want to share something. So the difference between the three of us, you guys were born in the Caribbean and I was born here. So two things. For one, everybody always,
we're not. That's another difference.
Everybody always makes fun of me and they're like, you're not the real Caribbean. And I'm like, what you mean I'm not the real Caribbean? For years, people have always shunned me and said, man, you third generation, you don't count. You're watered down. You're this, you're that, you know? But growing up as a little girl, I hated that I was from the Caribbean. I hated that my parents were Caribbean. From the braids with the beads, all these beads hanging me down, and they say, oh, you smell funny, or your mom talks funny. It wasn't until my junior year in high school that I started embracing it a little bit. And then once I went away to college and had my son, that's when I was like, man, it's cool to be from the Caribbean. I don't care what nobody say. But growing up, it was hard. It was hard. They were like, oh, you African. Oh, you Jamaican. And I'm like, none of the above.
Hey. First of all,
none of the above. But really, it was tough. Being a third generation Caribbean, it's tough.
But look here, I understand that completely. You know, I moved there when I was 10 years old, right? So, you know, so when you just move to a new place, you know, we come here, we talk funny, right? We eat weird food according to them. We, you know,
go to school smelling like curry.
No, we don't. Curry is a Trinity thing. So we.
Well, we went to school smelling like
ganja,
curry.
of course. You know, I went 10 years old. Of course,
coconut oil.
Anyway, so yeah, so that was I probably encountered a lot of what you encountered.
Right.
You know, I just particularly didn't care, but you know, it's I think it probably also has a lot to do with, like, you know, it probably if I'd moved to like New York or, you know, Florida, where there are a lot more Caribbean people, no big deal, they used to. But you know, I moved, you know, to Southeast Houston, not even Southwest that have all the Caribbean people. Southeast Houston, where, you know, I'm the only Caribbean person in the entire school, in the entire apartment complex. So they're not used to that. And so, as you know, as a young person trying to come up in this world, you'll go through those battles. But yes, you're right. As you get older, as you get more knowledgeable, then you get to really embrace it. I'm like, man, I'm not like them man over there. So I mean, I am different.
Yeah, definitely.
There's something unique about me, and you get to embrace it.
Yeah.
So that's
I think we all had pretty much the same experiences. It wasn't until I reached high school as well. You know, I learned it was cool because people would be like, "Oh, he's Jamaican," you know,
he crazy.
Chill out, you know.
Rare
Boy,
breed.
mess you up.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh yeah, okay." So you know, I just embraced it. All right.
So it came with a stigma, right? Was it a negative stigma or?
It was a negative, but I turned it into a positive. You know, people knew me. I mean, I was quiet, cool. You know, women had you, but they just didn't mess with me because they was like,
didn't mess with me. You know, I mean, to some people it was cool, to some people it was a negative. And, you know, one of the things that I thought was weird, and it's something we can actually explore on a future show, is one of the first things they would say to me is, go back to Africa. And this is from Black people, right? And I'm like, I'm from Jamaica. I've never been to Africa in my life. But it's like there was just this hatred of a different culture, even though, and which shocked the hell out of me. I figure we're the same skin color, so me and that man, and we're going to vibe and we're going to be cool. But because my culture was completely different, he saw me as very, you know, they saw me as very different. So, you know, I think we are more connected, I think, to our culture than we are to even our skin color. Yeah, because your culture is what you live on a day-to-day basis. It's talk, it's what you eat, it's what you listen to. So you live that and you carry that with you. And when that's very different from the way somebody else lived, you know, then they see you as the other. You know, so we got all kinds of drama with, you know, ignorant people behind that. But, you know, so you go.
That's another topic for another day.
Yeah.
But I think it's an
That's a whole show.
I think it's an acceptance thing. You know, the biggest thing for Americans was Bob Marley. Outside of that, like, what from the Caribbean did they really know back then? But now you have like Rihanna's doing her thing, and you have this one and that one. Social media helps bring us all together, and I think the ignorance back then is far gone, and that's a good thing.
Right. I agree with some of it.
For the most part.
Some of it is that we are just older, right? So the people that we're around are older and more mature and have into places. They've taken a vacation or two here and there. You know, when you're around a bunch of 10, 11-year-olds, they're ignorant, right? And they haven't lived anything. They don't know anybody outside of their apartment complex and the school.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, well, my daughter better not come home talking about somebody talking crazy. They're going to have to see me.
Oh, Lord.
See?
Here we go.
You know, that crazy Jamaican, I told y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So, you know, this is so these kind of conversations, it's why this month matters. It's because we are celebrating our heritage. And all of us who have kids growing up, you know, who born and grow here in the United States, we want them to, you know, embrace it and love it also. And, you know, I believe that's entirely up to the parents. So I mean, like, there's in your case, I think it's because your parents are Caribbean, and they, you know, with the food and the music and whatever else, you know, they didn't shun it. You could eat. I've seen people, you know, who are born and grow in Jamaica and come up here and have kids, and their kids don't know a thing about Jamaica. You know, that's entirely up to the parents. You know, it matters to me. So, you know, when we ride in the truck, you know, I play reggae music and stuff all the time, and you know, Sydney Rose now naturally just loves it. That's what she wants to hear. That's what she requests.
Same here.
You know what I mean? And I think it's just it's exposure.